Good afternoon and welcome back to another episode of Nick's Veggie Patch. Well, there's lots going to be happening in the video for this week, and obviously lots that I'm going to preview in the way of pictures. But I've been down here doing a few bits in the week because I was obviously very busy last week, so I couldn't upload a video, or I couldn't do a video. But lots has been happening down here this week, and I will show you that in the latest video. So I'm going to get cracking on and I'll show you what I'm going to be doing for next year. Okay, I'm down at the allotment and I've come down this afternoon to plant my garlic. I've got 3 different varieties of garlic this year. I couldn't pick up any elephant garlic, which is a very hard variety of garlic and good for planting outside. So this year the 3 different varieties I've got are as follows. I've got white Casablanca. Heard it's a very good variety of garlic, also a hard neck garlic which can tolerate the very hard frosts, which obviously you need to split your garlic. So that's the first variety that I'm going to be putting out today. The second variety of garlic that I've got is pink Germinal. It has been awarded the RHS award for merit. I would assume that means it's a very good variety of garlic. So I'm going to give that a go. And the third garlic I've got is a garlic white. So they're the 3 types of garlic I'm going to be planting out. I've got my labels all ready to go. These are bamboo labels, and as I've already spoke about in the video, I've got 2 raised beds prepared and ready to go to take my garlic. So that's one of the next things that I'm going to be doing. So without any further ado, I'm going to crack on and I'm going to plant my garlic. Okay guys, I've got my first lot of garlic ready to go into my green raised bed here. As you can see, I've put a measuring line all the way across from one end to the other, and I've got my dobber here, and I'm just going to make some holes in the compost, which has also got mulch on top of it, and I'm going to put my garlic bulbs in there. I'm going to put them quite far down because I know they will germinate, and hopefully next year I'll get some really good garlic, hopefully a very good crop like I did this year. So I'm going to put them in quite deep and then just cover them over. So got the cloves, individual cloves there. I'm just going to stick them so that the pointy end sticks upwards, and I'm just going to cover them over. So the hard end at the bottom, pointy bit at the top. Just stick them in, and hopefully next year we'll have some wonderful Casablanca garlic. So I'll just do a few more just so you can see what I'm doing. As you can see, pointy end stuck up, hard end at the bottom. Got them in not too deep down, but I can't remember how far down you go, but I've got them just enough. And the last one on this end. So I'm going to finish this off, guys, and I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay guys, so I've managed to plant both lots of my garlic. I've planted the Casablanca and the garlic pink, Germain, and also in this raised bed just down there I planted the garlic white. So there is some herbs in there, but yeah, I've planted both lots of garlic, no, 3 lots of garlic. Hopefully I'll get a good crop of garlic ready for next year. Right guys, I'm going to sow some broad beans now, and I've got a variety here called the Sutton, and these are an easy to grow dwarf variety, and you sow them around about November through to December, or you can do them January through to July. I know we're not actually in November yet, but there's only a couple of days, so I'm going to start mine off now. And I've got these peat pots that I'm going to start them off on. I'm only going to do a few, so there is 12 there is 12 here, and I'm going to put in 12, and I'm going to see what happens. I may do a few more, and then I'll keep them in the greenhouse, and hopefully they will germinate, and then they can go somewhere on my plot ready for next year. I'll make sure they're covered up so they've got plenty of warmth. But yeah, these peat pots were really cheap, and also I got the tiny little labels to go with them. So I'm going to crack on, guys. I'm going to fill these up with the compost that I've got in my tray here. I'm then going to sow the variety of broad bean called the Sutton, and then I'll show you the end result. So what I will do actually, guys, is I will show you first of all what I'm going to do. So I'll take the first tray here and I'll fill it with the compost. I've already moistened the compost a little bit, so I don't have to do it. And with broad beans, you don't have to put them too deep into the tray, and it doesn't matter how you put them in, because they will right themselves when they start to germinate. So completely covering the tray there. Give that a good pat down. So as you can see, it's nicely compact there, and you can make a little hole. So I'm going to take some of my Sutton broad beans here, or the Sutton, and I'm just going to place them inside my peat trays. So it doesn't matter which way they go up, but I am putting them up the way they will sort of grow out. I'll start off with 12 and just see how they go. few more out. Take one more out. Okay, so that's done now, guys. As you can see, the broad beans are in there, and I'll just give them a lightly sprinkling over with some compost on top. Make sure they're covered up, and I'll put them on my shelf in my greenhouse, and hopefully they will germinate. I'll label them up, and hopefully we'll get some broad beans called the Sutton. Okay guys, welcome back. I'm down at my mate Dave Dixon's plot. As you can see, he's had a complete transformation over the last couple of weeks compared to what it looked like about a month ago. He's not been able to get down here. He's been really busy with his own gardening business, so the last couple of weeks is the only time he's been able to get down here. As you can see, I've shown you in a previous video his 2 giant pumpkins and his giant marrow. They were growing in this bed here, but I've got my mate with me now. He doesn't obviously want to be seen on camera, but he will just give you a little bit of an insight of what he wants to do for next year and for next year's growing season. So Dave, if you'd like to tell my viewers what you're planning to do for next year, just a rough guide.
Some more giant pumpkins.
Are they going to be in this raised bed here?
Yeah, they're going to be in there, yeah.
Yep.
Giant cabbages.
And where are you going to be putting your giant cabbages?
Under the frame over there.
So giant cabbages under the blue frame there.
Yeah, probably just get 1 or 2 in there.
And you said to me earlier you got garlic going in. Where's your garlic gone?
The garlic's over there in that little bed.
So Dave's planted his garlic in that little raised bed there next to his little green house type thing. Anything else quickly, or?
Yeah, sweet corn, leeks, onions, and I'm gonna get rid of that compost bin over there. I'm gonna have a little flower bed in there for like dahlias and things like that.
Okay, so there you go. That's an insight into my mate's plot, and yeah, he's all ready for next year.
Hopefully we'll get some grapes in the greenhouse as well next year.
Okay, there you go. Hopefully some grapes in the greenhouse. I'll just take you down there and show you his greenhouse while I've been having a chat with him, because he has got his grapevine in the greenhouse and it's shot to life. He's got some nice wild flowers outside his greenhouse as well. And in here, this bin here, he's got his magic elf juice, but that is in there. That is comfrey, maturing very nicely. But I just show you in the greenhouse. As you can see, a lovely grapevine there, and he's hoping that next year he'll have some grapes on there. And the sweet corn that he's letting dry out, that he can use to plant in his allotment. But yeah, there you go guys. It's really looking good on my mate's plot. One quick other one, he's got some lovely onions that he grew this year. Real big onions, looking good. So yeah, this is my mate's plot, an overview of it. It's looking really good. He's got lots happening, and he's hoping to do lots for next year. So I'm stood by my greenhouse and my polytunnel. the plan for next year is obviously where I'm moving into my new house in a couple of weeks' time, is to make sure I've got plenty of fresh vegetables for next year. I've already planted some now ready to cover the hungry gap, but I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what I'm going to be planting, hopefully, and where some of it's going to go. So obviously, in this raised bed here, this raised bed is probably going to be onions. This year there was onions in it, but also because I forgot, there was some potato seeds still left in there. They obviously grew and I had onions and potatoes in there, but hopefully for next year that one will be onions. I'll just move you along. As you can see, the green raised bed here and the wooden raised bed there, that's got the mint in it. These two raised beds have had garlic in it for the last couple of years. That's going to be the same again. I've got two different varieties of garlic, so I'm probably going to get a third. I'm probably going to get some elephant garlic. But the garlic will be in this green raised bed and this wooden raised bed here with the mint. If you're wondering what the mint is doing in there, I was given advice by a fellow YouTuber that said if you put things like herbs or things like perennials or whatever in your raised beds, it stops all the bugs that you don't want. They don't like it, so it's things like snails, slugs, and it helps prevent them from invading your raised bed. So that's why the mint's in there. If we move further on, next year I think these two raised beds here and here will probably have my normal pumpkins and my giant pumpkins. I didn't have them in there this year because I grew my pumpkins in that raised bed this year. I didn't do giants this year, so it's just normal pumpkins which are in there. This raised bed is going to have broad beans again because it was very successful, and also a few cabbages. These two here, as you can see, the raised bed there that's got the giant weed in it, that had my giant cabbage in it. Well, that wasn't big enough for my giant cabbage, and as it happens, me and my good friend Mark, we lost our growing competition to our best friend Dave, so that will have something else in it. This raised planter will also have something like carrots in it. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I've got lots of raised beds that will have loads of stuff in that. I'll start off in my new greenhouse at home. This one here will have sweet corn in it as normal, but lots of various things are going to be grown in these beds. These square ones, again, they will probably have all my potatoes because we really love the potatoes. I'm not sure if they'll all have potatoes in, but they will have some form of different varieties of potatoes in. I'm also going to put a cane structure up around or by a couple of my raised beds. So these two raised beds here are going to have a cane structure, and I'm going to grow my runner beans up them. Runner beans, climbing beans, French beans. I've seen a few fellow YouTubers do it and I think it looks really good. But generally, guys, that's just an overview of what I'm going to be doing with the raised beds. Obviously I haven't mentioned all of them, because I've still got to cover all of them up. Basically, I've got to fully decide what's going to be going in them properly. In my polytunnel, if it survives the winds that I know we'll get, that will be salads. There is some winter cabbages in there at the moment, but yes, a general overview, and hopefully once I fully decide what's going to be going where, I can give you a proper update. This has got my rhubarb in it. I've mulched it over, but it's died back now. I know that will grow back for next year, and then what I'll do is I'll get rid of this wooden thing, this box. But there you go guys, a little bit of an overview of what I'm going to be doing. Wow, would you look at that guys, a wonderful rainbow has just appeared over Nick's veggie patch, well, over the plots where I am. So I just thought I'd give you a lovely little snippet of that beautiful rainbow. It's starting to rain down here now, so I've had to stop for the moment. I've come into the greenhouse, but yeah, I just wanted to show you this wonderful rainbow. Isn't that wonderful? Beautiful rainbow over our allotment plots down here where I am. Just absolutely wonderful.